Hello, dear Chris Cuomo, CNN. You guys are recorded involved with crime methods of pretending to be about freedom of the press. In other words, to hide your life progressions, criminal uses of attorneys, criminal uses of judges. Now, these are crime roles with judges and attorneys and police forms with you guys with database crimes, mandated law crimes. You guys are involved with CCSU, your sources with states and areas. I'm not trying to blame you personally. I'm trying to help fix it. Oh, because there's no more time. No one has time to be extorted in a straight line leading up to the Trade Center attack. In it, and since I wasn't even, no. In other words, these are people with identity thefts, real crime methods from my town's police chief down, former director of the FBI down, with overt criminal enterprises. Whole bunch of people associated crimes with a Dillon family and clicks with a Billy Grasso fakes. They do different kind of crimes together from all the way in Cromwell where it doesn't go anymore, Maple Street, all the way to the Maple Street where there's a shooting a couple days ago reported. Now, the other people involved with WFSB with the reporting of that real or made up shooting, they have fake news crime acts with those people and with the investigators of it and with, say, state police involved with it. As those police also involved with further with child predators worse than with the principal sex offender and people already on the sex offender registry involved with them criminally, even if and especially if made up, because the mother of one of them is with town offices, crimes, foreign and domestic military cliques, for foreign and domestic overt criminal enterprises. Now, these are people confessed, recorded, and demonstrated with corners all the way on Maple Street. And that was a shooting of a person out by a police officer on the corner of Maple Street and Sausty Highway. Also, Weathersfield Police, Weathersfield Pizza is over there associated with Stephen Stocko and themselves involved with evidence crimes, sequence shifts, wire crime rolls with a whole bunch of police forms. Now there was a Janito Mendez and Eric Mendez that and a whole bunch of other police forging names, switching names, crime actual crimes with police equipment, pretending I had conversations with them because they were also used when I was a kid as people involved with attaching me to fake locations. There are judges retired and standing attaching kids to fake locations as roles with other natures of crimes juxtaposed as crime roles with the child sex offenders, proving that they first force sustained with worse then and now. Also, uses of their Facebook page for this. These are a whole bunch of people with the name Alicia with New York and Washington D.C. A whole bunch of people with Central Connecticut, Central Connecticut State College recorded and confessed involved with a whole bunch of natures of federal crimes with the Demoros, with two Joe Demoro families, that family with that name. No, JD. I don't know if it's got anything. But these are justice, ironic because these are Justice Department racket natures from Washington, D.C. in the Trade Center attack context, rolls with the clicks with a sequence shift from inside the Ninth Circuit, proven afterwards, right before the attack that happened. And then that proven led to former director of the FBI, a whole bunch of federal criminals and their family members associated with kids criminally at the campuses I went to. Crimes with the databases. Everyone speaks to others, so no one realizes when someone needs to demonstrate interbranch corrupt. Everyone's making overall allegations. They're only letting that hurt. They have like a whole bunch of people motivated. They have they have employments and stuff like that, narratives in the background from on and off campuses, how they raise people to make industries like with internet, like with algorithm, where they call algorithm. The algorithms inside this is the identity's course. Everything else is a system in it. So we have identity, we have the Constitution bridge, self value originally instilled. This is where we were supposed to free ourselves. Free speech. That's not freedom of press. You guys are hiding, and you guys, in other words, this criminal. You're hiding exceptions. Just because you have a guy who knows the law, there are crimes against you guys preventing mandated law, preventing free speech, with physical delusion and with criminal foreign influences, with your sensibilities with online with Facebook. So no one can report. If you call over the police, they lie. They're forging, switching names, lying about what is actually recorded. And again, they have physical delusions juxtaposed with all kinds of predicate acts, sequence shifts, all kinds of federal evidences crimes, like sequence shifts, like falsified police reports, forging names, switching names, drug crime rolls, criminal uses of untimely death spots on and off campuses, extortion, worse torture, free speech, stealing my identity. No, this is problem. See, they have each of the sciences worse than obfuscated. You have correlation agents, but no English has, like, unlike the other sciences, has the capital letter. It's beyond that. Law been fake since founding, pounding drums. So we have the people pretending to be against Russians in collusion with them already. Now, our Justice Department knows that they have all kinds of crime rolls and they had torture rolls, before, and as fact-cheating nature racket rolls with a whole bunch of hiding their lie progressions with psychology. Their delusions raw with the branches recorded, crime methods recorded, individually grouped in together. And the individuals grouped in sections of each branch that used criminally. The ages of it, every difference used criminally. They're victim predators of the organized crime method that forgiveness is about, because we can only discern it by demonstrating that. So they're offensively keeping themselves, pretending that they're against that by being offensively sick, fake righteous aggression, and sick fake care, fake worth, fake positive as criminal and seditious nature, self-valuing that forced criminally legalized. Again, physical delusions raw too. Lie progressions. Stayed. So now their stayed needs to be what was facilitated, needing to hide. Self-valuing already facilitated. Off campuses. Stayed on off campuses, motivations, roles, needs, natures as offensive lie progression, offensive evidence fabrication racket roles. Way worse than just color. Color was in there, so they could, in other words, they controlled the education. They're controlling criminal and citizen's nature is in possession of our founders' history, even though others is there per correlation actually recorded, not by accident. Quality proofs of it, all retreated positions, all summary convictions by American history nonsense. Marbury versus Madison. It's not too vast. Justice to the law must satisfy. Real justice must satisfy all appearances of real justice. That's my father told me Marbury versus Madison means. My father was a proven, accomplished pro se litigant, labor steward for years. Now he had, at the time of his death, he had a case slash S going on. Parts of it, things like that, which is trying to have it mended, which is like a civil pro se RICO suit. RICO is Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organization Act. Before that was ACA, Organized Crime Control Act. The wording of it is regardless, because this is regarding offensive evidence perception crimes where they have that written where they could get away with such. They also have been and are doing worse where they don't have that exception. And so to hide it, everyone needing to hide roles with it. Everyone's it's is manifest as roles, needs, and natures to keep fact keeping nature, maintain self-valued knave. So we have brainstorming, self-value, things like that. These are time treatments. I'll make opinions. Talk. The kids like to talk. The kids like to be. They like the kids to talk because they don't have opinions. They don't have. They don't know how to think. These are victim predators when they tell you when they're sick. For example, both parties regarding obligations they have to regarding the forsaken integrity of law originally and still, and how. I know there was impositions, but see, they want to keep it shut because they were, these are how they're raised of a child abused. The branches. So they say, "Oh, grow up." You know, these are people keeping more. This is non worth of integrity of maturity. What do they know about maturity? What do they know about capitalism? Or they say dictators. Things like that. Those are terms they use to keep quality of fact cheap in nature. Knave, all knave roles. That they say, oh, that's opinion. How can you know I'm lying? Because your delusion's raw. Your criminally foreign influence premises treatments, criminally foreign influence sequence treatments, like with Mueller, right through administrations recorded whole bunch of natures of federal crimes tied to a whole bunch of people tied to former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin. His roles with a whole bunch of people they keep as creeps, thinking through them. Victims, but victim predators. Liberate their souls. Fix the database. Follow mandated law now. These are, I've been asking, what do you want me to do? I yelled, I asked nice. Follow, fix the fake news. New Britain Superior Court is crimes from before 2001, leading up to the Trade Center attack in the context with people on and off CCSU involved. Also, child offenders. Crime Acts rolls intercities on and off the campuses. Forget about it. These are people involved with CNN, Fox News, their sources, media, communications experts. All so this person's raised. They're trained how to debrief the media because some things they want to keep it secret. Keep nothing secret. They have crimes with Russians further tied to this Leahy family. Whole bunch of judges, federal crimes with him. They can't pretend other legitimately, so they're preventing writing since I was a kid. People faking me to fake locations. They're still attaching kids to fake locations. That's why they have sex offenders proven associated with their kids at the branch. The drug clicks with these doctors. That forged names, switched names, conversations. No, with me about agencies. As people that were federal crime rules, even recorded, even if not charged, when I was a kid. I didn't know them all. And I didn't know their involvements with it. And they wouldn't let me counter because I don't get any writing. These are a whole bunch of people. They heard a whole bunch of distinctly and non-distinctly. Everyone's fighting to make opinions though dishonestly. There are people I don't even know mixed with people I only know from when they had them recorded, used for offensive evidence reception crimes. And that those were their motives for that was recorded too, tied to their federal crimes and cases through time. With databases, I just remind they know that they say they offensively pretend, oh, that's the prosecutor's job to try to prove something. Or if we can prove it, then it happened. There are crime methods faking recorded things in the databases, forging names, switching names, attaching people to fake locations, their family members. Making people, family members, have conversations about that they never had conversations with each other about, pretending other, to prevent people from making torture methods. Now, since before they use that word, these are federal criminal traitors to your country that came up and thought it was a good idea to bring in torture, to bring in shock and awe, Islamic extremism. These are people that hate them, but they're in collusion with them. You know how many nations are in collusion with psychology, with triages, with mental places, Social Security. How many natures of federal crimes are associated with criminals? These are child sex offenders, associated people with the integrity of the Fox Connecticut News. Whatever they have with the shared policing of the downtown Hartford through time into Branch. I just remind that's tied to the houses in my area with the FBI, with the CIA, their family members, sick punk fakes, stealing my identity, pretending I know people I don't know. Use Facebook for federal crimes as trade center crimes. Facebook, they prevent mandated law, pretend these are behavior predators, lying about our behavior. They have the crime method recorded, consciously used. Oh, you're not going to get a job if they found out you posted something. They're consciously, criminally pretending that. And worse, because they're sequence shifts. There are all kinds of natures of identity thefts. There are all kinds of federal crimes with ISIS and with Saudi Arabia, with the counter there, here, foreign domestic military, on off CCSU, further involved, on off the campuses in sustained ways too. They have Justice Department rackets. They have undercover private, especially with the prison campuses and family members, especially with the Olympics. You sick punk fakes, because where the nations are grouped, they're sick. See those people like, what's his name? Forget these guys and girls with the UN. They're out of their minds. They pretend respect for things with military. They don't know military. They have psychology thinking for them. Break down these punks with nothing. They pretend they have voice. Oh, I care about this issue. They have all this breaching screen. You follow mandated law. That's what it says when someone says there's a child offenders with the campuses. You don't force that sustained. There are more with his campus still, with other campuses. Now we have military involved with this. They already got invested with identity thefts, fake conversations with me, trying to pretend like they knew me by making it look like that if they filmed something. Then it's for illusion. You're real fake punks. Especially, even if not, it was made up, because you can't tell. Because the state's attorneys, New Britain Superior Court, Hartford attorneys on off these locations at their campuses through time involve a whole bunch of natures of crimes with kids. Many natures bonded, predicate acts. Worse than extortion. Identity thefts. As court clerks. What are they going to pretend now? Oh, I was just trying to be a prosecutor. They're faking the evidence. These are sicker than killers. Every day. Hear many pray. Give me a response. Someone not coward. Respond here. It's recorded. They have a fake Facebook page pretending to be me. They have a picture they took from WFSB associated with houses all the way from Cromwell to the corner where the shooting with these officers, these Mendes police. WFSB, New Britain Superior Court. Whole bunch of retired and standing lawyers associated with them. Prosecutors associated with them. Child sex offenders. Even involved a whole bunch of natures of child abuses. Even ones involved as case leaders with DCF, with sexual circles involved with this stuff. There's some kind of stuff tied to this WFSB too, with Gail King, Oprah. I don't mean to be all the women on the networks, because you guys are listening to people lying to you. We're quiet. You have people at Trinity College recording and facilitating the crime rolls with child sex offenders, with a whole bunch of people rolls with the English Educational Department at CCSU, distinctly and non-distinctly with the other departments, tied to the towns and houses in my area. Demonstrated, confessed, and recorded, involved with the police funds, with the federal crimes, with the child sex offenders on the list already, with the campuses, and further. Now, there's the two Mendez police and a Phil Cololo and the Scalora family also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crimes with the on-off campuses clicks and with crime methods using the databases. Using where you're going to walk next to that, because also there roles with drugs, not by accident, time, criminal uses that are connected intercity to other ways, unconnected, untimely deaths on off campuses. Uses of them for the other natures of federal crimes. With a whole bunch of people, the lawyer, the former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, whole bunch of federal criminals with him, right through administrations. Whole bunch of people associated with Cubans and Russians on off CCSU. Crimes against Manafort. Against him. I don't know with them. I don't know those people. But it was nice to my father, who worked for him one time in life, I heard. I didn't know that when I first attacked because of the name. Now, CCSU recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they have CCSU. And they have an intelligence community. Whole bunch of people associated with a Joe DeMora. Criminally involved. His cousin went there. Men and women involved with database crime with them. Whole bunch of people from our town into branch, on off the state judicial branch offices. All the corners on Maple Street, all the way down to Cromwell. Involved crimes with a whole bunch of people with Billy Grosso, with this Finanza family, with the body dumping spot of Billy Grosso. His crimes with fake news clicks through time that are a whole bunch of natures of federal crimes. They're hiding life progressions with the kids because I caught them with making rep through all kinds of sick methods with the kids. They said they have the Wethersfield police were called people associated with them with the drugs and stuff. Said they have modern pastry through time involved criminally, and they demonstrated that too. Tied to the corner of that is a corner house with a Peruta family, with a Russian house, and then a corner near the school, the child offenders further. But I'm not letting her get a response. They're not letting me use calm speech too. They're attaching me to fake words, fake yelling at people. Like a Lombardo family, also involved with the drug crimes over here at the campuses through time. And with the houses with the extended family member, further with the predicate acts rules, and with the child sex offenders law of Phil Cololo. There's a problem. Two Mendez police recorded, attaching me to fake recorded things, pretending police recorded, recorded as means to pretend they know me in context and conversations never were. They were involved with that when I was a kid too. All kinds of natures of federal crimes actually recorded. Oh, respond now, because these are also people that make bad things happen in the case they can run other databases, and they're actively doing it. These are real high predators with all the value treatments for our elderly homes. People associated with CCSU, other campuses interceding. People with Trinity College, crimes with the FBI, other agencies on off Park Street, on off Zion Street, a whole bunch of people involved with houses on and off the campuses, on and off fire departments, criminally involved, more child offenders. Don't make me beg. I asked you very nice, many times. If I call the phone, Wethersfield Police, they forge names, switch names, roles, lie about what's recorded. They do worse. Into branch, they do that, forging names, switching names, making confessions about federal crimes, demonstrating them recorded, then using the time to pretend other. Worse, intercities connected, worse than interstates. Worse. A whole bunch of people in my town were caught and confessed and involved with a whole bunch of people at CCSU through time. I'm off the location, on off Trinity College, from off the campuses, on off campus, and using their identities. Use everyone speak through other people. Whole bunch of people associated with my new and past neighbors with this, with a Dylan guy. Real estate crimes too, because the way they have the crime methods and the tactics used by the courts involved. Again, with Russians. One's recording, confessed with them crimes with all the corners on Maple Street, all the way from my town to Cromwell through Rocky Hill. With the families involved with the child offenders. There's that pattern, too. I'll tell you, New York Gabe, they fail mandate CNN. They would rather pretend things personal and keep you lied to. Keep you as their tools, as they are breaching screens and weapons. Chris Cuomo, stand down. You are also sickly involved with homeless roles, pretending care for things that you guys are against. Your databases are ill. And who thinks for you? You guys have exculpatory, and inculpatory evidences, crime acts rules, with your sequence shifts, with your identity theft crime acts rules, through your sources. Here. That means up here. New York. You have been forsaken long. When you hear people use terms like socialism, capitalism, communism, they're with physical delusions. I'm going to show you how to think here. Because New York, we have to have a force, because these is from Connecticut interstate, intermilitary, foreign and domestic, and collusion, recorded, confessed, demonstrated. They don't know what they recorded, confessed, but they know they can't tell the truth now. And I know the connections that are actually recorded. They either have the Facebook police, all the online policing, YouTube. They have your sensibilities. Who lies to you? From former director of the FBI down. You have to follow mandate law. They won't let you. They tell you forget the perfect world. They probably use that phrase with you. You note that, they'll change it to worldview. Facebook is involved with child sex offenders and with the judges and with their Facebook courts roles and with child trafficking for their roles attaching kids through time to fake locations. Note that now the state judicial branch offices is involved with this, with the courthouses of Maple Street all the way through the towns, with the child offender roles. Whole bunch of people associated with Billy Grasso criminally, with mayors retired and standing with that. As the ones involved with the WFSB recorded and confessed and demonstrated crimes, all kinds of fake sites, roles, uses of the businesses and the locations of the shooting. There are fake crime acts roles with the reporting of to hide it. As the police forms involved with, also as the ones with child sex offenders proven and further with crimes with them of other natures and of those same natures mixed. Get me a response. Get them from the authority names, switching names into branch now. Hurry up. Worse than extortion.